Today we are testing the par output of the Red Sea G2 LED 60. This is the base one that comes with the Red Sea Max Nano. It is the smallest light that Red Sea makes, that is a G2. There's been a lot of new updates since the G1 LED 50, and I wanted to test the par because I plan on keeping some SPS inside of this tiny little tank. From what I've seen, supposedly you can grow SPS with this light. The numbers are kind of outlandish. I've seen some of the par outputs, supposedly like 300 par. I kind of have a hard time believing that, considering how small this little light is. But we are using the USB Apogee par meter, and just for reference, we are using the immersion settings on, so it'll basically make the reading more accurate. It'll take into account that the sensor is submerged in water. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started. So at the highest point, we are getting 170. And then back here, we are getting 150. Over here, we are getting 165. And this is 145. Okay. So let's go ahead and write these down. Highest point is 170, 145, 165. So right off the bat, we can see that Acropora is probably not going to thrive in this tank, at least not where I have my rocks. I can probably get some Acroporas and they'll probably grow. I probably won't get the best color out of them, and they probably won't grow as fast as they could. Will it grow Acropora? Yes, it probably would. But I would recommend, if you were to get this tank, to actually get the rocks or build your rocks. So your aquascape has to be built higher than what I have here. You have to go like at least another 6 inches up, because if we were to do the test up here, now we're getting 265 par, and a little bit to the right, 250, 250, and then at the edges, we are getting 150 at the edges. So about right here is 285, 250, 150. So that's what that's looking like. In order for you to grow Acropora comfortably in this tank, you would have to make your aquascape as high as that. So like 3 or 4 inches off the water. You'd probably get away with 5 inches, a little bit lower, maybe about right here. No, you probably can't. This is 180. So you would have to have your rocks come up to about here in order for you to get the highest par possible. At the sandbed, we're getting 125, and at the edges of the rocks, we are getting 120. Oh wow, this one's actually really high here. This is actually getting 175 par on this little rock here. Yep, 175, 185 between those. This other number, we are at 160. Nope, 165 on the side over here. 130 down here. It doesn't go from 170 to like 60 par. So we're still getting 130 down at the very bottom here, and we're getting 120 off to the side. This is actually more like 175 on both of these little perches here on the rock. And then on the side back over here, on both sides, we are getting 145 and 160. So 145 and 160. 145 and 160. So that is what the par looks like on this light. Let me get in closer for you guys. So about 3 inches from the water surface, we're getting 285 to 250. As we get closer to the edges, it drops off to 150. And then about 6 inches below that, where my Rockwork currently is, let me adjust this. So where my Rockwork is, we're getting about 170, 165, 145, a little below that. And then as you get to the sandbed, it actually holds up pretty well. As you guys can see, down below, we're getting as high as 175. And at the very bottom of the tank is 130. So this light is actually, even though it's super tiny, it's actually pretty capable of growing lots of corals. This definitely can grow SPS. Would I use this to grow Acropora? Unless I built my rocks all the way up here, I would not use this for Acropora. Instead, I would upgrade this light for the Red Sea LED, the G2, the 115 or the 170, and just dial them down a little bit. Because remember, we're running this light. This is at 100% settings. So this is the max output that this light provides, and we're gonna be running it every day at 100%. It's probably not gonna last as long as it otherwise would. Now, I was gonna do a video making this comparison between 100% and 70%, but honestly, with these numbers, I don't think anybody's gonna go under 100% output, because at that point, you would only be getting 100 par up on the top of your rocks, and the bottom would probably be closer to about 60 par. So unless you're doing an all softies tank or doing some really easy corals like mushrooms, you're not gonna wanna use this light anywhere other than 100% settings for at least 4 hours of the day, which is what I do. I do 4 hours photo period at max with 2 ramp ups in the morning and one ramp up in the morning, one ramp down at night. And it's 4 hours, 100%, kind of white, and then it shifts to a little bit bluer in the evening. So, like I said, I wouldn't recommend this for Acropora. Can it grow Acropora? Probably. Especially if you do make your rockscape like all the way to the top, for sure you can grow Acropora. If, like, for example, where I have my rocks, I could probably grow some Acropora. Like 170 is not gonna be like a terrible amount of par for an Acropora, but it's not gonna color up as nice and it's not gonna grow as quickly. So I wouldn't use this for Acropora. Instead, like I said, I would do the 115 or the 170 and just turn those down a bit. Honestly, for me, I'm just gonna keep LPS here for about 6 months, so I'm not gonna upgrade the light now. But when I'm ready to do SPS and I'm ready to add my first acros in here, I am gonna upgrade the light and just put it on acclimation mode so that it'll kind of ramp up so it doesn't shock any of the corals. I am gonna be making a video on whether you can use the same arm if you use the 115 or the 170 LED. If it's just plug and play and you can just keep the same arm, I'm gonna make a video on that in the future because I am gonna upgrade the light to either the 115 or the 170. I guess we'll just see. Anyway, that's it for this video. I hope this helped you, and make sure to subscribe and like the video, and I'll see you guys on the next one.